What are you going to do about it? These people have been sentenced to life imprisonment in a foreign country with no due process.
That was that white man I was telling y'all about when Michelle and I were talking earlier. That was at a Republican town hall meeting. That's a white Republican dude. Because I think some of them are starting to realize that, like, if there's no guardrails and they're just going to tell people they're a criminal, it's like anyone can go. Right. You know? Because there are white people getting, you know, kicked out the country, too. And when I was bringing this up, like, earlier, like, months ago and stuff like that, when I was, like, saying, like, are they going to be kicking white migrants out, European migrants, stuff like that, too? I wasn't trying to be shitty and funny and all that and pick on them. I'm just saying, if you're going to be deporting people, you can't be picking and choosing. You know what I mean? Because it looks racial. It looks like you're being racist when you're just kicking black and brown people out. You know what I mean? How else are we supposed to take that?
Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Hope you enjoyed today's podcast.
Y'all see the price and now y'all freaking out. Trigger finger fucking the pussy liquor shot, eat you out. Never is my name in a rap nigga mouth when he's speaking out. So I've been patiently waiting on a sub like a teacher out. Beat this out, I leave you on the scene, bleeding, motherfuckers screaming like a freak team seeing a Stephen King screaming. Look at my 16s and tell me you don't see these. I'm a nightmare for any dreamer. That's it. Fighting over who next out the city, that's silly stuff. Bars spawn with J-Nice and Jada and can't be touched. Don't try to dab me if it's up, it's really up. I take the beef, dip it in blood like video. Ain't nothing to talk about, honey. Nah, if it's up, it's up. You see me in the streets, try to dab me up. Now we ain't doing that, crazy nigga. We ain't on the internet stuff. Nah, we ain't the type to type. Nah, if it's up, it's up. We do this for the sport, who wanna fuck with us? Come on, 7 in this bitch, the crowd pump me up. Let's go. I'd rather not shed blood, but if it's up, it's up. It's up, it's up. Niggas trying to ask what's up. I say the price of work. Never speak on the cold, you ain't the cycle church. Yeah, I stay on the move, homie, the Nike's work. Father forgive, they bring the pipe to church. Even the mosque, nothing's getting squashed. If it's up, till your head is off, that money's getting washed. Problems getting dodged, playing some Mary Blige. That's the Hellcat, then the hell and back, cause I'm hard now.
I don't think Greg had that move in, did he? Greg's early days.
Watching these playing games, these are pretty good. Atlanta was getting blown out earlier. They done not tied it up, but they're only down 7 now. Yep. And then you got Golden State and Memphis coming up next. So I'm gonna watch these. Just want to take a break from the episode just for a second, just to say we hope life's treating everyone well, and yeah, just wanted to say that, and we appreciate everyone that's taking time to listen to our podcast. All right, y'all, let's get back to it.
Dyson Daniels some trouble. Not many do. Daniels, a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year.
Palermo's Rising Crust 4-meat pizza. Michelle's putting garlic on it and some onions.
No salt.
No salt. And Michelle's got a story for y'all, I guess, too. Remember we were telling y'all earlier, what was in yesterday's episode? We were talking about the lady that got the letter saying that she must self-deport. The white lady. So we got that story lined up. We're going to get this pizza going. I'm in there watching the NBA play-in. Orlando smashing Atlanta. And then Golden State's about to play Memphis. I think I'm going to go for Golden State.
Homeland Security told U.S.-born immigration lawyer to leave the country. Email to Massachusetts lawyer warned her to depart the U.S. immediately, even though removing U.S. citizens is illegal. We'll do later. Okay. A Massachusetts immigration lawyer who is a U.S.-born American citizen is speaking out after she received an email from Trump administration immigration authorities telling her she needed to leave the country. Nicole Michelleoni described receiving an email on April 11th, and its heading was Notice of Termination of Parole. It's time for you to leave the United States, the email read. If you do not depart the United States immediately, you will be subject to potential law enforcement actions that will result in your removal from the United States. Michelleoni told NBC Boston, "At first I thought it was for a client, but I looked really closely, and the only name on the email is mine. Probably, hopefully, it was sent to me in error, but it's a little concerning these are going out to U.S. citizens." News of Michelleoni's email comes as the Trump administration has waged an aggressive effort to remove non-citizens from the U.S., including people who are here legally and have not been charged with crimes. Trump has also openly mused about removing the U.S. citizens who commit unspecified crimes from the country and sending them to prison in El Salvador. Removing U.S. citizens from the United States is clearly illegal, experts say. An official from the Homeland Security told NBC Boston that Michelleoni may have received the notice because her name and contact information is on the paperwork for a client. Customs and Border Protection authorities use the known email addresses of the alien to send notifications. If a non-personal email, such as an American citizen contact, was provided by the alien, notices may have been sent to unintended recipients. CBP is monitoring communications and will address any issues on a case-by-case basis. Michelleoni said, "I think it's a scare tactic. I think they want people afraid of immigration." And that is all. But, don't you look into something before you're just sending random mass emails? It's just weird.
So I was wrong about the neighborhood that's showing CBS. I thought it was only going to last like a season or two, and Michelle said it would have lasted longer, and she was right. Didn't you say it's on its last?
They just said that this was the final season.
I didn't realize it went 8 years.
Yeah.
Are you serious? 8 years?
Yes. Yes, it's a very good show.
I just didn't see it lasting because I didn't think that in that time slot on CBS, like prime time, I didn't think it would last because it was a black show. But how do you feel about, see, here's why I think it's lasting this long, is because they threw 2 white people on it.
Yeah,
if it would have been all black people, it wouldn't have lasted no 8 seasons, not on no CBS. What time, and it comes on at like 7?
Yeah, but like the white couple, they're not even like the main storyline ever.
But just that they're in there.
Uh-oh.
Because mostly white people still watch, like, network TV, I feel, overall. You know what I mean? So, like, if they're tuning in to that, like, they're white people, I'm saying,
yeah,
they only want to tune in for so much blackness. They gotta see some white people on there to tolerate it. You know what I mean? Because the neighborhood, they ain't like the Huxtables. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They act a little more, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I ain't saying the Huxtables were uppity and stuff, but I'm saying they were like as perfect as black people, as white people want black people to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like some of that went into when Cosby, the great Bill Cosby, I don't even care. He was great at what he did, minus all the stuff.
Except for drug handling.
Yeah, minus all that stuff. If he did or not,
Right.
whatever, you know what I mean? Not whatever, but if he did, then he just, you know how that goes. But
Maybe he had a
I don't
sex
know.
addiction.
I guess I'm just saying because I don't know.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I'm saying all the film stuff and all the other stuff. Because at this point, remember we were talking about that too? Oh, and another one. We were talking about that, like, are we going to just, like, drop things that we like?
Right.
Because, like, look at, like, it's pretty much no holds barred out here in this world. Like, anything goes. We got a convicted-ass criminal, 34 felonies, owes all these people money. He's a criminal thug, Donald Trump. And he's our president. But I still got to fill out a convicted felon, on all the paperwork, anything I fill out. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't care. Like, if I like something, I'm just going to like it still. Like, if it's music, I'm not going to, like, go out of my way to, like, not watch. Like, we watched the Cosby Show the other night.
Yeah.
Fuck it. I like the Cosby Show.
Yeah.
I don't approve of what he did or, whatever. But fuck it.
But I feel like
until everyone starts acting right.
Like parenting and
What's that, baby?
I feel like he was really smart with parenting and like relationships and.
He came. Remember when I told you I met when I was working at a Hotel Metro? I met dude because he was here. I think he was speaking somewhere, but he was staying at Hotel Metro, and I did room service when I was, because I bussed tables in the dining room shit during lunch and breakfast, and I did room service too. So I remember that morning I came in and the cooks were telling me and said, they're like, yeah, Bill Cosby's up in one of the rooms or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then he was like, he's going to sign a couple autographs for us too. And then, so I had waited for all the food and shit, and they were all making like a big deal about it. It wasn't a big deal to me. I'm not starstruck really, I guess, really all like that. So I took it up there and stuff, and I went in. When he opened the door, he did the face, the Bill Cosby face. Everyone knows that. Like he did that right when I opened the door and shit. Yeah. And then the very first thing he asked me when I wheeled the food in, he asked me if I was in school. That was the very first thing he asked me, like, after we greeted, like, hi,
Like, if he was, like, a shitty person, he wouldn't have asked you.
You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. It's just like, even if someone did something wrong, if they're saying, like, for example, if it's someone that you don't like, but they tell you something good, you can still take the message, but not like the person still.
Right.
But still, if they said something good, you could still take that, but still, dislike the individual.
Right.
Chewy. All right, let's get back to the game. But yeah, I was just thinking that, I didn't think that show would last that long. Because white people only going to tolerate, y'all know what I mean. They'll be tolerating us a lot of times. Y'all know what I mean. Because that's why sometimes, too, when they hire black people in jobs and shit like that, white people, because they're usually, most of the times, white people are going to be the one, you know what I mean, hiring or whatever, because they're going to be the ones owning the business or whatever. And when I say, like, white, I ain't saying it like all, like, disgustful or, like, mean. I'm just saying it's factual. Most white people are owners, or they're the boss, or they're the manager, or they're, doing the hiring and firing and stuff. Usually have to go through them in most situations. I didn't say all, most situations. You have to, get hired through them or whatever, you know what I mean? And a lot of times they'll be tolerating us. They'll hire you, and they really didn't want to and shit. And then one fuck up, you're out of there. And then they'll be all, I knew I shouldn't have. I didn't want to hire. Yeah. Anyways, all right, y'all. Back to the episode. But yeah, I feel like Cosby Show. I feel like that was one of the main reasons it did so well Come on, y'all. On a Thursday night, NBC, 7 p.m. on a Thursday night, mostly white people watch network TV still, for the most part. For the most part. Like that brought, like TV shows that come on Channel 4, you know, NBC, CBS, Fox, all that kind of stuff, ABC. Most of the viewers are still white people. It's always been like that. Because they'll be throwing the black shows, like here in Milwaukee, they would throw our black shows on like UPN, Channel 18, WCGV, all that, you know what I mean? They had Martin on Fox. I mean, Fox was a main station, but still, like, that ain't, most black people don't really watch Fox. The only reason black people were watching Fox is because that's where they were putting the black shows at. You know what I mean? All right, y'all. Back to the episode.
You gotta mastermind your business. It's the best thing you could do. Trust me. Money on my mind with a gun on my waistline. Think about death if you planning to take mine. Shout out to the homies that's doing the state time. Wasn't race related, but know it's a hate crime. Niggas hate being broke, hate being laid on the bench. Hustle graveyard, a nigga laid on the bench. Team from the trenches, it's a pump, and it's trench pumps. I love drug money, the plug send dope. Then I had to think about the game. It's death or a cell, or a life full of pain. Once you get the picture, you can get about the frame. Cause bed shot, or headshots, all the same. I'm just getting money while doing this G shit. Old blown, the old leaving the weed safe. Probably on the plane, I don't fuck with the free scent. Cause the Jake's all in it, rats and snakes all in it. Goes way out the way of the pigs and the snakes. Cause these vermin ass niggas gon' rat. I'm about peace, but I'm still up on the streets. So I'm looking at my piece like I left this shit black. Staying up way out the way of the pigs and the snakes. Cause these vermin ass niggas gon' rat. I'm about peace, but I'm still up on the streets. So I'm looking at my piece like I left this shit black. Not giving the fuck is what I'm great at. Who wanna get hit in the face with the 8? Like where the weight at? Ghosts don't play that. Ghetto niggas will say that. Lay back, but I'll push your hairline way back. Scout you like a native, shoot you like I'm a cowboy. Alpha and Omega that day to say I'm a wild boy. Tokyo drift when I shift, get off the cliff. Out the window with the left, raise it up. Proceed to dip, who wants to live like that? Not I. Rather shop and buy, pull up in the drop 5.
Chewy and Charlie are obsessed with you. Did you have your first sip yet, baby?
I haven't.
Okay. Yeah, I think I made it medium strength.
Okay.
Shout out Collectivo Coffee. I almost missed getting it yesterday because I went to East Side, East Lion Pick and Save, y'all. And so I was looking for coffee. And I was in the coffee section. I didn't see it at all. I'm like, damn, did they stop selling it or did they move it around type thing?
It's like a mini pick and save.
It is. East Lion isn't. They don't have everything in there that they should.
They do not have a wide variety.
You know. But yeah, I went and in the coffee aisle and I was looking. I'm like, damn, I actually ended up grabbing a bag of that. Is it that Caribou? Is there a...
Yeah.
Yeah, I grabbed a bag of that.
That's
Dark
roast.
Right. Yep, I had it in my cart and everything in my basket. And then I was going to the checkout line. And then there were the bags of Collectivo coffee. They were sitting up like towards the beginning of the aisles, like when you come in.
Yeah.
Yep, so they had moved the shit. I'm like, man, y'all, you almost missed the sale.
Oh, now I picture what you're talking about. Yes, they usually have Collectivo separate.
Yep.
For some reason.
But it's always by the coffee section, though. It's near it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
this wasn't on.
It was on the opposite side of the whole building. I'm like, damn. So yep, I ended up finding it on the way out though. So grabbed that up. Gotta have that Collectivo coffee, which used to be, fun fact, used to be called Altera until they, I believe they merged.
Such a big to do when they changed their name.
Mm-hmm. Because I think they ended up merging with like some Illinois. I'm going to actually do some more digging on that. Be a little small dive just to find out the origin of all of that. Because I love their coffee so much and their food.
Oh, yeah.
That gets undervalued. Like, we don't talk about that much because the coffee's so good. But they got excellent-ass food in there.
That avocado toast that I had was so good.
Yeah. And the Southwest style burrito I had was excellent.
Yeah.
So we almost stopped there yesterday, but we decided not to
Spend the money.
get food, y'all. Yeah, we decided on Culver's, and then Michelle's like, "Do you want to just hit up Collectivo because we're heading north on Humboldt?" And I was like, "Bet, let's just do that." And then when we were kind of driving up to it, we were like, "You know what? Let's just go home and just save our little money. Fuck it. We got food at the house. It ain't like we don't have shit here. We got tons of stuff. We just didn't feel like making nothing or whatever." And that's where, too, I feel like discipline has to come in. Because, like I said, it's easy to, like, overspend at the store. Like, you can have in your mind, right, like, okay, you can even write your little list out. Like, I'm going to get this. Just got to grab this. You might have a list of, like, 6, 7, 8 things on your mind. By the time you get in that store and the time you walk out, that 6 or 7 items and turn into 11 or 12. You know what I mean? Buying the candy bar at the checkout or the soda or grabbing, you know what I mean? So I know for myself, I got, have more discipline with that. Not buying stuff that I want and just making sure I'm getting the things that we need. But, yeah, because it's easier to just frivolously spend. You know what I mean? Especially like on paydays and stuff like I think everyone does that, wants to treat themselves a little bit. I don't care if you have a ton, not you, I'm just saying, I don't care if you have a ton of bills to pay. When you get paid, there is like a small little feeling like,
oh, I have money.
You know what I mean? Right. Yeah. For a day, yep.
Like you have a sigh of relief for like 24 to 36 hours. And then all your bills start coming out.
Like, bloop, 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 bloop. Speaking of that, we're watching a commercial too with some service. What is this? Home serve. They do plumbing, heating, cooling, and stuff or whatever. Just another company trying to make a few bucks. But yeah, I think today too, I'm going to go around. When I get home from work, I'm going to pick some more random items and see where they were made.
Okay. Things
in our place. Because like I said, like 80% of the stuff that I looked at was not made here. I mean, from household items, appliances, from, more expensive stuff to cheap shit. Right. Most of it was made in China, India, Indonesia.
Right.
All that kind of stuff.
Isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm. It really is. It really is. It truly is. And the reason I, did that, because I was, I don't know if you noticed on your Twitter, but I'm noticing a lot of more, Chinese people, they're, showing us how it is, what products they make, what they're, they're kind of breaking it down, And this one dude, he was like, I don't have anything in my house that was made in America. He was like, do you have? He was like, but I bet you have a lot of stuff in your house that's made from China.
Right.
And it was just simple. It was just basic like that. And I was like, dude's actually right about that, though.
Yeah.
Because China produces 67% of the manufacturing throughout the world. 67%. So basically almost 7 out of 10 things that are made, shipped around, moved around, imported or exported is through or from China.
Something to be said about child labor.
Oh, let's listen.
A judge demanding answers about a man deported by mistake. He wants to know what the Justice Department is doing to bring him back.
That's just crazy. Town hall chaos. There were people were getting tased and shit.
Town hall in Georgia. Georgia. People were tased, several others escorted out. And the man accused of trying to burn down the...
Because I saw a video clip, right, from that, there was a town hall and that Marjorie Taylor Butch body.
Somebody said that to her at the
Somebody
town
said
hall.
that. It was a black lady, too. I was loving it. She was, you know, they obviously kicked her out and shit like that. But she was walking, she said, because the Butch made body, Marge, Marshawn, I'm going to call Butch May Marshawn. We're going to give her a black name. She's Marshawn for the day. But Marshawn, she was just spewing all her bullshit. You know what I mean? Talking about migrants and stuff like that.
I heard everybody was like upset with her.
They were getting after her punk ass. I don't, you know, baby, I don't call women bitches, but Marjorie Taylor Greene is a bitch. She's a racist bitch.
See you next Tuesday.
Yes. But this black woman got up and she was like, "Are you going to be kicking the KKK out?"
Yeah.
And all these white supremacist groups that are here, that are terrorists.
Yeah, are they terrorist groups?
They are. They're the most vile and dangerous people. So are they going to, and that's what the black woman was saying. And obviously they escorted her out and shit. But good for her. And then I saw white people, remember we were laying in bed watching the news, and that old white man got up and they were asking about the Mr. Garcia that got sent over to El Salvador.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like, the Supreme Court said send him home. And then there was another white lady that was saying that she doesn't like what Trump and them are doing, and, you know, saying that they're taking people's human rights, all this shit, and they're mass deporting people illegally. And she was like, I'm not standing for it. I don't like it. And then that old white man stood up and said, the Supreme Court said to bring him home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hearing a old white, they're in Georgia. This was in Georgia too.
Right.
And to hear that say that, it kind of makes you feel like, because you're not normally expecting some old white man, let's just be honest, some old white man to get up and basically speak on behalf of a brown person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Usually you hear white people, I didn't say all y'all, but normally you'll be hearing white people saying, yeah, get him out of here, I don't care. He's illegal. They'll be defending it somehow. But to hear him speak against it, I was like, oh, that's nice. It was refreshing to hear that shit. And just think, when we sit there and watch these press conferences and we watch Trump and them bullshit that man's wife, Garcia's wife, can you imagine what she's going, like, it has our blood boiling. And right. We're upset when we hear Trump and them basically playing a game of cards with this man's life. Can you imagine what she's going through? Because that's got us heated.
Right. Because honestly, like, we're giving El Salvador money. So, like, all Trump has to do is be like, hey, we'll give you a couple extra $1 million. We'll give you more prisoners if you just return this one guy.
They got to have dude back, though, because like you were saying, them judges take that shit serious. When you're dealing with human rights, and like I said, I know sometimes judges can be heavy-handed or like they can even talk to you crazy sometimes when they're sentencing you.
But they uphold the Constitution.
They do, for the most part. And I'm sure people could go find some situations where judges have, you know, obviously, there's nothing new under the sun. But for the most part, they don't fuck around when it comes to people's, like, just basic rights and stuff like that. Because they can, you know, cases can be thrown out, dismissed and stuff like just like all technical errors. And if that man is dead, they're really fucked. This is not going away. Trust me, y'all, this is not going to go away.
And like I said yesterday, I'm sure there's others, but their families here are illegal, so they're not going to say anything. Because then they're at risk of being sent there, too.
Exactly. And now Trump wants to send U.S.-born, you know, prisoners and stuff like that.
Oh, I just read, kind of off topic, but not really. that Pete Hegseth is reducing the active troops by 90,000.
He's reducing our troop count by basically 100 grand?
Active duty, yeah. Not a good time to be doing that.
Dude has racist tattoos as well that no one like talks about really.
Yeah.
So we literally have racist people running our country. Let's see what this is. Representative Maxwell Frost out of Florida. Shout him out. Democrat.
Okay. So what are you hearing that it's about? And more importantly,
sorry about that, y'all. But they're talking about the Garcia case. Shout out Audie Cordish. And check her podcast out as well.
I tend to think that Donald Trump would like nothing more than to talk about this.
This is Charlie Dent, Executive Director of the Aspen Institute Congressional Program.
Unlawfully should be returned from his native country, setting aside all the facts in the court orders. I think he's doing it because he'd rather be talking about this than the stock market tumbling, the bond market being volatile. Farmers can't find export markets for their product. Consumers are worried about the price of everything from cars to sneakers. So I think this is a great deflection from the issues that are really driving a lot of people in this country crazy right now.
Okay, so this one puzzle, it's called Green Thumb, and I got it for Christmas from Maya. And it's actually an African-American one.
Nice.
But it was designed in Lawrenceville, Georgia. Shout out Uncle Mario.
Mm-hmm. Shout out Uncle Mario. Love y'all. Tony, Rami.
But it was manufactured in China.
That's one thing.
Let's see. I got this puzzle for Christmas from my brother. Where... Oh, made in, Kazakhstan. I'm pronouncing that wrong. And then, A Christmas Story one. Made in China.
What about this?
Chewy, were you made in China? Actually, you were. Hugs were made in China.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yep. Hugs were made in China.
What about this? They actually don't have anything on this.
Oh, it probably was on the box.
Where are the Beats headphones made?
Oh, China. Chewy.
Yes.
The coffee grinder. Oh, why did they make it such small print? Apparently the Chinese have better eyes than we do. Made in China.
What is the brand?
Chardor.
Chardor. Made in China. That's our coffee grinder, y'all, that we put the Collectivo coffee beans in that are made in Brazil, probably. You know, we don't make coffee beans here in Wisconsin.
What do you think, Chinese dog?
They literally make almost everything in China. Straight up. This remote.
Can you imagine trying to live your life only buying things made locally or in America?
That's tough. And I was thinking about that too, baby, the other night. Like, we don't, overall, I said overall, I know that we make things here in this country. But for the most part, unless it's Nana or Granddad or like people that do crafts and stuff, ain't nobody making this kind of stuff here. Right. The knickknacks and the remotes and the coffee grinders and the puzzles and the little mortar and pestle and puzzle niche. No one's making that here for the most part. For the most part.
Right.
We don't produce that kind of stuff. I don't know why we never have.
Because
I mean, we make Carmex and shit here. I think isn't Carmex out of Illinois? I actually think. And I think Hormel Chili is out of Chicago as well.
This is chewed up. I wonder how that happened. It doesn't say on it.
I believe Carmex is out of Chicago. out of Illinois, and I believe that Hormel chili is too. Mm-hmm. But like for the most part, like, so that would be a question I would ask. Why don't we? Do we think we're too good to make knickknacks?
No, because the labor is cheaper in China.
You
They
know
have
what?
different labor laws. There's children. I don't think there's an hour restriction. They probably have people working, like 24-hour shifts.
Oh, so maybe maybe that's what that white guy was saying. Who was it? One of them congressmen, Republican dude, wants to lower the working age for kids in Florida. So you're gonna start having them in sweatshops. I remember I worked at Koss putting together headphones.
Really?
Remember Koss? Yeah. Our Scrabble board was made in another country. The microphone that we use sometimes is from another country. All right, y'all. But we're going to finish getting ready for work. And Michelle might have some words of encouragement. How many more days we got till the Easters?
We have 2 more sleeps till the weekend.
Word. All right, y'all. Take on the day. And we will as well. Check this out. This one of the good white fellas right here. We need more of him.
Oh, but what rights have you lost? Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
We need more good whites like him. He's speaking out against Trump and that bullshit.
To do this once and only once, because I can explain it to you, but I can't understand. Oh, but what rights have you lost? Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I'm going to do this once and only once, because I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you. I know you vote and act exclusively out of self-interest and greed, but there are those of us with souls who don't. I'm a white, straight, Christian-appearing young male citizen from a middle-class family. People who look like me have had the same rights in this fucking country for the last 250 years. And if I shut my mouth right now, I can guarantee you I'd have the same rights for another 250 years. But I'm not going to do that. I get that you don't care that there are mass federal lowlifes grabbing people off the streets for the crime of speaking their mind. I get that you don't care that this administration has illegally disappeared someone who was here legally and committed no crime to a foreign fucking prison and then made it their policy that they just can't get it back. But I do care. These people have rights and they're losing them. And this isn't policy, it's authoritarianism with a fucking spray tan. If you think I'm not going to use every ounce of the platform that I've somehow acquired and every decibel of my voice to drag every abhorrent thing that this administration does right into the sun, you're fucking wrong. And one more thing for you fucking rat bastards. I can promise you that history will look more kindly on me than it will on you.
That's right. That's right. He's a good one. We need more of him. And I'm not trying to be funny or none of that shit at all. I'm being dead serious. We need more people like him speaking out and not being shy about it, not being timid, not being scared. You know what I mean? You have every right to speak your fucking mind just like they do. You know what I mean? And shout out Harvard for fighting back. You ain't gonna sit there and tell us how to run our school and basically tell us we need to support your bullshit or else. Get out of here. They don't need dudes' money. And then here I'm gonna play. I got one more. I'm gonna roll out for y'all too. This is AOC, y'all. AOC is out here doing it, man. She is out here getting it. Let's see.
Bakersfield. This is a matter of fact. Donald Trump is a criminal. He was act. Donald Trump is a criminal. He was found guilty of 34 felony counts of fraud, found liable for sexual abuse. And if he wants to find the rapists and criminals in this country, he should look in the mirror.
Haha, I love ALC. Should be keeping it real. And like I said, no matter how you personally feel about her, she's got the receipts. She's been consistent, and she's been saying the same stuff. You know what I mean? I'll be brutally honest and say that I don't think that she will win a presidential election just because what the proof has shown us throughout all the years. Like I say, 46 white presidents, no women presidents, one black president. And I don't want to hear, oh, we won twice. I don't want to give a fuck. It's still one person. You know what I mean? So, all right, I'm about to go pull these clothes out the dryer, y'all, and we're going to get on with our day. It is 5:14 in the morning, yep. Be heading out for work, and check back with us later for another episode. Shout out the NBA playoffs. Start here in a couple of days. Looking forward to that. Go Bucks. Looks like Dame's going to be out for a little while still, Dame Lillard. But we just gotta make do with what we got. Let's just be honest. The Bucks, they're, even with Dame, they weren't going to win a championship. They're missing a couple pieces. I wish they wouldn't have got rid of A.J. Johnson. They sent little A.J. Johnson down there to Washington. He's going to be good. Really upset about that. All right, y'all. Back to this episode. Thanks for listening. I told you they're not giving up on going to get Mr. Garcia back. I told y'all that.
We are not going to stop fighting for his return until he is actually released. I may be the first senator or first member of Congress to go down to El Salvador, but people are going to keep on coming.
A U.S. senator heads to El Salvador right now to push for the return of a mistakenly deported man. Good morning, everybody. I'm Audie Cornish. I want to thank you for waking up with me. This is CNN This Morning, and it's 1:30 on the East Coast if you're getting ready. Here's what's happening right now. Democratic Senator Chris Van Hollen said he hopes to visit with Gilmar Abrego Garcia while he's in El Salvador. The senator also plans to speak with government officials there. And it comes as a federal judge has been demanding evidence from the Trump administration to determine if it is following her orders in this case. The position that this ruling did, particularly on this case, actually put the court in a position of being weak to the point of ineffectual. So when you said the word ineffectual, I was like, this Cupic? Like, what's happening?
Judges don't like being made to look stupid, I'll tell you that.
Goes through this order. The Supreme Court drew a distinction, of course, between the word facilitate, saying, yes,
let's play this. So I think we have a clip of Attorney General Pam Bondi talking about that case of Abrego Garcia.
I can't stand that Pam Bondi.
It was a win. What the court also said was that these district judges do
stop lying, bitch.
Interfere with the executive branch's ability to conduct foreign affairs. What they also said is just facilitate, meaning if he wanted a plane flight, we could give him a plane flight. But we cannot effectuate it, meaning making it happen.
The legalese, tell me.
Okay, and it was legalese. It was written in a very opaque way that gave the administration more running room. And the administration read this order in the stingiest way possible. And I don't know if the Supreme Court justices anticipated the degree of bad faith that would be used here.
Bad faith.
Yes, but certainly because of how narrowly they're reading the word facilitate. The word, to our audience, they're probably thinking facilitate, effectuate. What do those words even mean? But in the law, facilitate does mean work with, assist. Effectuate, which was the verb that the lower court judge, Paul Zinnis, had originally used, that does mean make it happen.
Who remembers this oldie but goodie? That Egyptian lover.
I found myself on Black TikTok recently. I don't know how I got there. Okay? But I just have a message to my fellow white people. Hey guys, we're so stinky. We are so smelly, you know? We are just so smelly. And I think, here's what I've pulled, okay? All right. I feel as if, first of all, a washcloth, it's so cheap, it's so handy. Yeah, it is. And it can, fun fact, it goes in the washing machine so you don't need to keep buying. Anyway, you know it's not working, and here's what I'm hearing. Here's what I'm hearing is happening. A little soap, a little. Well done. Hey guys, your body's bigger than that. You know, when I'm coughing because I just ripped a crazy dab, my kneecaps sweat. You know? My kneecaps are sweating. And you know what? I'm walking in my stinky, smelly feet all the time. I'm standing in water. Hey girl, that's not good enough. Hey girl, that's not good enough. The water's hitting my butt cheeks. Hey sister, that's not good enough. I know that I have 25% male audience. They're creeping, you know? And I know that I got some white men here, okay? Hey guys, it can always be better. And here's the thing, I have a feeling that the reason why white people are so stinky smelly is it's like a white supremacy thing. And don't, it's because I think that it's like whiteness is cleanliness, is purity. I'm clean. No, we're not.
I'm going to play the rest of it towards the end of the episode, y'all. This is a 3-minute and 40-second video. I just played 1 minute and 41 seconds of it. Y'all can go check that out. This was from Black Capital. At Black Capital. Yeah, at Black Capitalists. Go check that out. That is true, though. A lot of times they don't be washing up properly. For real.
Activists or paid activists.
And then activists are paid activists. They don't see them as constituents. So the dismissiveness is part of that, the general ethos that they don't feel like they have to answer to that particular group of people. I would say that they do that at their peril. I think there's been a robust reporting that this is not actually paid activists, sometimes not even Democrats. But, you know, there are Democrats and they are part
They tell us this old white man, Republican man. It said the Republican lawmakers face angry crowds at town halls.
Grassroots.
They tell us this old white man.
Was saying, like 2010, like 2017, where it's going to take the Democratic Party and how it's going to affect the Republicans remains to be seen.
Yes,
but we are seeing a lot of energy.
And I'm not picking on her. So many lawmakers have tried to hold town halls. They've ended in different ways. But I am focusing on her because she was an activist, right? She came up through an activist kind of column into the public space and is now a lawmaker. She's now on the other side of this.
We're talking about Marjorie Taylor Butch made bitch body.
Which people are often keeping an eye on. Here's how he is describing the state of things.
He now holds, in this particular term, the worst ever net approval rating at this point in a presidency among independents at, get this, minus 22 points. He is 22 points underwater with independents.
Trump's 22 points underwater among independents.
Completely underwater with the center of the election.
I hope they impeach that motherfucker too. Don't be surprised if there's an impeachment coming down the pike. All right, y'all. We're about to head out for work now. Peace. We appreciate everyone listening today. Do something good for somebody. Check in on your people. And until the next one, peace. And shout out our family. We love everybody. And thanks for listening once again. All right, y'all. Peace.